Greetings everyone, hello and welcome back once again to Memoriapolis, to, the medieval times. And over here, we continue already with our medieval center. I really enjoy how they overhauled a bit the graphics, so, it's of course not a highly detailed game, but you have way more contrast now, buildings just look a bit sharper, they look bigger in this case here, and it especially makes sense here, as you can see, in the bigger city center. So in that case, this is something I really enjoy about the full release of it. We got another request from a faction, and the thing is, this is still a bit strange to me, but what we want to do now is, expand the territory there too. What I want to do now is, since we can finally go into politics again and get us these edicts going. So this is something we finished finally, and there are a bunch of things that I like here. The most notable one for me would be welcome for all, because in this case here, it increases my immigration. And immigration is something that we're really lacking, for some better word for it, right? So it's workforce that we're lacking, and workforce is the available number of people that work based on the amount of people that we have in the city. So we got 4,400 available right now. That leads to 1,572 workers, and out of that we have 126 available. So this is something that we need to keep in mind here. Let's get the edict rolling now. As we can see though, it's not a very popular edict, right? So it's not guaranteed that we succeed at that. I think at least we don't need to pay the gold though. It was refused. All right, as expected. Voted against. Even the followers of ISIS voted against it. All right. That's pretty strange to me. But we didn't lose the money, right? So at least that is something to celebrate. Next building is the library already. It gives me satisfaction. It also gives me an increased blueprint generation, which is getting increasingly more important as the buildings we are building are getting very expensive at this point. Let's have the library. Let's also have it once again so that we get a few districts. And I don't like this location for a library though. We might actually push it here somewhere, because this is also getting then into the city center. Also, we have some scholars here already, right? And they're getting a profit, or they take a profit from that. Belonging, no. Creativity is probably a good one for the library, right? I would also probably like to go for esteem here, and yeah, let's go with safety. It's a stone building. You can go in there if there's a big fire rolling. at least as long as the fire doesn't catch the roof. With the library being constructed, we do get now access to know-how. So let's have a look at that real quick. We have 12 slots available, and we do have now certain cards that we can use. And each one of these cards consumes slots. Like carding, for example, costs me 1 slot. And this one here reduces the disturbance of production buildings by 15%. It's not very important. And as we can see, yeah, it also doesn't cost me that much. And we have an industry zone far away, so it's not really something. However, what I like is, for example, my blueprint generation here of 10% increase. So I'm going to activate this one right away. Next card I would also like to go ahead with is the passive generation of trade routes is increased by +1. That's pretty massive, honestly. So I'm also going to activate me this. We can always deactivate those cards to free up the slots again. I don't have that many cards unlocked yet, right? And free will passive faction power gain is increased by 10%. That's also very important to me once again. With that, we basically used most of it. Just to make this one complete, we could go for this one. There you go, right? And have it activated now too. Okay, this one once again is a very important one here. Increases the minimum and maximum migration by +1. And this one is unlocked by the hostile lieu that we need to build. And luckily, we can build it already. So I would like to go ahead. It's 1,000 blueprint points, but that shouldn't be a big issue. And now the biggest issue is, as always, workforce. So I need to wait on that a bit. I would like to go with the edict once again, and we can actually corrupt the factions by paying a bit of money. We can guarantee the success for this one here. And with that, this edict though costs me a full 1,300, which seems like a lot, and it's probably a lot. Let's increase its duration as well so that we really get the most out of it and submit this one. Money-wise, we could sell some stuff again since we have lots of resources. Honestly, the biggest issue with this game is just how workforce is distributed, because at some point it's the only limiting path, right? The only limiting factor right now. that prohibits growth for us, waiting for more people to join. Decree was accepted, and with that we have a higher level of immigration. That means also more people now move into those districts. Alright, construct the glazed pottery. Getting a bonus out of this as well, if I'm pushing. But of course, we don't have enough resources for that at the moment. Hostel Dieu, there it is. Let's build it. And once again, let's have it in an area where we can affect... Oh yeah, affect a lot of districts. This looks very good to me. Perhaps... Oh, come on. This is possible. No. Crazy stuff. I cannot get it in. So I'm still going to build it. Belonging. And yeah, let's make safety for this one. To get us these parameters up again. And with that, we should unlock now the card as well. That increases migration further. Now, this know-how costs me quite a bit though. That's 4 points in total. So I need to get rid of a bigger one here that we have. All of them are pretty neat though, right? This one, we only have 3 points then. Passive faction power. Let's go with the passive generation of money and disable this to get the migration in. Another path we need to go now is the belfry, because the belfry makes it possible for us to build a city wall. That is really important because it permanently increases the safety rating for all my citizens by a lot. So a wall, a medieval wall, is absolutely mandatory. The belfry, however, has the requirement that we need to have a military faction that is to some extent powerful. And that means, once again, I will also need some military buildings, the dungeons, for example. So let's go ahead and get me those. The arsenal would be my next in line. Once again, with the dungeon, it's 96 people. That's, once again, my only limiting factor. We can use the time to trade, for example. Right now, we have still an ongoing trade. And I do have money, so let's unlock us the next trade route. This one's a pretty expensive one. Both of them give me 4 coin. This one's closer, 25 cycles. Let's go ahead with this one. Okay, for the dungeon, we can affect 3 districts over here. Can we make a 4th one? Nah, 4th is not possible. But that's at least 3 districts where potentially we can get some military factions in. Of course, it's for safety and creativity. No, I don't think this is the right choice for it. Let's go with... Yeah, esteem or belonging. It's either one of them. A dungeon, right? It's... Let's go with esteem. That we can afford a proper prison. I continue with selling resources. We do need more coin. And we can also once again upgrade our main building. That is nice because it is a resource dump, finally. And it unlocks us also then a public square that we can use. But this cost me 70 workforce. Honestly, it's totally bonkers to build any of these ornaments, right? Because the workforce requirement is just ridiculously high. Let's go ahead and improve it. So I don't care about the building we unlock. I rather care about getting rid of resources. Also increases attraction, and it increases our buildable space on the map itself. Esplanade-wise, we're looking pretty decent here, right? Also population satisfaction. Problem is resource points at this point. So, yeah, either I increase production or... I don't think this would do anything though, because we're capped on most things, right? So this is where the game a bit falls apart when it comes to its balance. And that is really just how the workforce contribution works. With 6,500 people, we can push it again. Construct a episcopal school. This would reduce my construction by 50%. That's also not really useful to me. We can also use cultural characters to increase the satisfaction a building provides. Like this one here, for example. I think we can also do the same thing here. So there we have our cultural characters, right? And we can, or we get them with the powerful factions. And I can use them for the Hostel Dieu, for example. We do have 2 of them available to increase the satisfaction this one here provides for a certain amount of time. For 150 cycles it is, in fact. I've done it for the guild already. I probably also would like to do it for my Universitas. And then we got the House of Grievance. This doesn't provide it. Unfortunately, the Trajan Forum doesn't work for this. And do we have anything else? Oh, the Malus. Very good. Right, so this way we're getting a bit more satisfaction out to get the bonuses that these provide. That's important. Also, it makes sure that we really finish that Esplanade thing. It should also make it so that there are more factions moving in of this type. Fall of Constantinople. So what should we do? So should we support the Byzantine defenses? Should we support the Ottomans? Or should we choose to strengthen my personal defense, just in case they are coming for us? I'm gonna support Constantinople here. This brings me not the best resources. This one has gold, actually. But I'd rather defend the Byzantine capital. These events are nice, but they're not happening very often, which is a shame. Alright, next in line, I would really like to go for the next building here. Or can we go for the belfry? Nah. Next building is the arsenal. Once again, a building for the military faction. Gonna have this one also closer. I think the radius is a bit bigger for this one, is it? So let's have the arsenal also just beside my dungeons. Even though I'm full, I'm still gonna continue expanding my industry zone with another forge. The reason for that is simple. I think it still contributes then to the production points, even if we don't produce anything right now, thanks to having, yeah, full stock of everything. We continue supporting the Constantinople, just for that event to happen. Let's also have another gold beater. No, let's have a tile over here too, because we need more tiles actually, and more bricks. And another brick factory. There it is. Making this industry zone complete. They really basically cost no workforce, by the way, right? So these production buildings are very low on that. And the cultural buildings are just the ones that are costing me a fortune. Oh, look at that. Also, I like to see that. We are out of food. We have grown towards 6,000 now. And that means my fields are not producing enough anymore. So I need to quickly do this. There is no warning, right? It's just happening. Suddenly you're negative, and if you don't constantly look up the food, you might run out of it pretty soon. So let's increase the farm to level 3 and get the improvement going. I think this is the fastest way of fixing this issue right away. And let's do it for both farms there as well. Lots of construction. This should help me with the production boost, right? We missed the coin here because, yeah, basically we don't have enough resource points. Okay, now we're out of food. But that farm is improved now. There you go. Okay, perfect. That was enough to already push us again. But of course, we want to have a bigger surplus than just a 12. So that's those two farms here. The belfry can finally be built. I'm super happy about that. 1,300 blueprint points. And how many workers do we need? 112. We have 2 commercial cultural characters at this point. So that means I can have 2 trades going at the same time. So one of them is probably a bit of stone, even though that's quite not that powerful. And yeah, sand also pays nicely, so let's also go ahead with this. Let's just dump the cheap stuff to my neighbors. And I'm also pushing the migration decree again with a bit of money, so that we have more workforce in faster. Okay, wood is okay. I'm actually gonna build me another cutting camp, because we are about to build a wall. And that wall will need a lot of wood. I'm just thinking where. Can we? Yes, we can have another surveyor cabin over here. There's lots of forest. And also, this makes a nice location for the 3rd era city, right? Must be placed on the periphery of the attrition zone. Yeah, this is something that's a bit strange, because you don't see the attrition zone. It's the white circle, not the blue one. Let's build it here. It's done quickly anyway. And then we can build another one just here somewhere in the middle of the forest. And right here I would like to have then my next cutting camp. Yes. Have we unlocked tier 2 production for the cutting camp? Oh yeah, we have. Might upgrade this one here as well. Okay, with all that production, we're still not getting the points in. Crazy stuff. We do have a lot of production at this point. There it is, the belfry. It's a beautiful building. And yeah, I'm probably just gonna have it somewhere over here then, where we can affect... Ooh, nice. 4 districts. Gonna have it look like this though. Towards the main road a bit more. And we're gonna go ahead with esteem for sure. It's a pretty big building. And let's also go with belonging. Takes quite some time to build. There it is. a new building, and around that I'm expecting more people to join then. And with that we have now access to the ramparts. We can now select where we want to build it. I would say that we start with this one here, the castle. Selected, and we can now enlarge the belfry. This one costs me now wood and stone primarily, so that's not that expensive. We can also increase its level then. That is new. All right. And decreases the need for health and safety for each inhabitant by 20% within that area. Let's increase the size and just see where it goes from here. Okay, this one. This one. Can I not queue it in somehow? Probably too much. This would be possible now. We can always enlarge it then at some point, right? Increasing its level here too gives me what? Reduces the risk of incidents and negative malfunctions by 50%, and level 3 would give me an increase in taxation by 50%. However, this also requires 300 bricks. You know what? I'm gonna wait just a second to get the materials in, because I think this is gonna be quite worth it. Time to also unlock the last trade route. To also get us that passive gold in 3 coin every 5 cycles. Dusk falls on the battlefield, no one moves, no one shouts, the last Ottoman is dead. The soldiers are stunned, Constantinople has once again repelled the invaders for good. And with that we get the cultural building cemetery that we still need to unlock though. In the building tree and cemetery. There it is. Oh, it's the last one out there. It's the biggest one, but I cannot build it yet, can I? Oh yeah, I can. Gives me lots of belonging. Once again, 128 people need to work on that. It's really expensive for just one parameter, right? Not super happy about that. I would rather go with the glazed workshop, because that also increases my city storage by 10%. And that is something we should get going. The only thing, yeah, space. Over here we have available slots too. Over here. The biggest issue of this game, the biggest challenge, is finding space to build something. There we can have 4 districts. Looks nice. Just need to find now suitable location, esteem for the workshop, and creativity for sure. Okay, so now we can at least go for a level 2 wall that we can have here in the inner city, right? And it's affecting a lot of people too. What is that? Oh, okay, we can also take individual points. This is new as far as I think. So we can go up to this point there. Looks lovely. And let's build it. And with that we lost all wood now and all stone, also cut stone. So there is actually a reason to increase production on these. That would be the cutting camp. So perhaps I can have another one over here somewhere. It was just there. Seriously. This needs to be improved though, right? Now it's working. It just worked. There it is. That's a bit of stone. And might also get me another cutting camp. To chop away all the trees here. Another 6,000 wood that we have available. This will take now 57 days. The satisfaction counts already though. Since we have a lot of blueprint points, I would also like to unlock tier 2 production for every production building now. I think we should have done this a bit earlier, but with that we can now improve those. Still very expensive. It is, however, also increasing the stock that we have then out of this. So it's worth it, right? So let's have it for once for the forge, and I probably also would like to have it for the gold beater. And for basics, we could also have this one for my production there. Wait a second, we had 2,400? Wasn't it more? There's 4,000 gold here, so I'm going to improve it. And I would like to go for a cutter. Do we have a cutter somewhere? This one, 2,700. And then a bit of wood we need. Finally, also we have unlocked a new wonder. Actually 2, that's because a faction, a medieval faction, is more powerful than 40 now. For one for the political and one for the traders. So which one should we go for? Economic power or the Palazzo Vecchio, a blend of palace and fortress. This one here Does give me, yeah, the parameters are the same, I think, for both of them. I think I'm gonna go with the commercial one. Just because I haven't built this one yet. Another thing we can do now is add more Senate seats. Here, for example, for a bit of coin. The reason for that, why you want to do this, is to diversify the amount of factions you have, so it's less, or it's more likely that an edict actually gets, yeah, voted for, that I'm choosing it, right? So there's a higher chance that some factions like it, what I do, instead of before. Also, corruption-wise, if I corrupt someone, right, it works immediately, and it then goes down over time. So when I corrupted someone like now, now would be a good time then to use this corruption to get some edicts going. We're at the edict limit though right now, so I can't do anything else anyway. Now, the ramparts have been finished. They're beautiful, level 2, so that's a stone wall right away that we've built for them. And now I'm waiting for my wonder, which isn't that far away actually. There's a bit of cut stone that we need. What I can see for the cut stone though, that's my stonemason, that we need to increase the level of this. Otherwise my storage will not be high enough. So we have the stonemason here. I don't have the level 2 yet, so I might actually just go for level 3 right away to also get us this going. And then let's improve it to also increase my storage. There it is, the Lonia de la Seda. And we can finally build us a new wonder. Where should we place it? Well, that's up to us, really. We can now decide where we want to have the next city then, right? So we have still 2 eras. One era makes sense here, and one would make sense here, because we can still grow then also towards this area. So in that case, either way, let's go ahead and make us the next district then somewhere here. That's also with the wonder then a bit further outside, perhaps, adding some attraction, and of course, satisfying a lot of needs for my people. And there it is, our new wonder, the Lonia de la Seda. And yeah, also increases attraction quite a bit, but also increases all the parameters. That already happened before though. So yeah, that's also then the next logical choice for the next city center here. We're getting some festivals as a result of that. And we're also closing in on the end of the Middle Ages now. So this has been Memoriapolis, the full release of this game. I hope you have seen enough to make an opinion, to forge an opinion of your own. Thanks for watching. We might continue onwards here, but at this point it's unlikely. Stay tuned.